Hello and welcome to a trip that you are not likely to forget in a hurry. We are on a boat heading towards the pride of the Indian Navy, the aircraft carrier INS Vikramaditya. In this 360-degree VR video, we shall take you on a virtual tour of this magnificent ship and give you a feel of what it is like to be on this formidable floating fortress. Please feel free to look around the video by moving or tilting your smartphone or by dragging the screen with your fingers. You can also pinch the screen to zoom in or out. In case you're using a PC or a laptop, you can pan and zoom by holding the mouse click and moving the pointer forward. We recommend that you use a 360 VR compatible video player like the VLC media player to enjoy this video. If you now look in the direction of the rising sun, you will get your first glimpse of the Vikramaditya. It is indeed a majestic sight, and the conspicuous silhouette of the ship gives her a very distinct identity. INS Vikramaditya, commissioned into the Indian Navy in November 2013, represents 19.82 acres of sovereign Indian territory. That is equivalent to 11 football fields, with the flight deck area itself equivalent to about 1.5 football fields. At her widest, she is 60 meters across. That's as wide as a 4-lane highway. She is the largest ship operated by the Indian Navy, and she has a loaded displacement of 45,400 tons, which is approximately equivalent to the weight of 7,500 African bush elephants. Let us circle around the ship before we board her. Please feel free to move the screen to have a better look at the ship at any time during the video. The ship extends 10.5 meters below water and has a maximum height of 53.4 meters above it, bringing her total height to about 64 meters. This is comparable to, let's say, a 15-storied building. At 284 meters long, even Usain Bolt would require 28 seconds to run along her length. With between 1,600 and 1,800 people working and living on board at all times, you can understand why INS Vikramaditya is considered a floating township that boasts of excellent living and working conditions and a very impressive and professional operating culture. You are now about to be received on board Vikramaditya by the officer of the day and his piping party. Piping is an old naval tradition followed by navies around the world. Well, now that you've been welcomed on board, let us get on to the flight deck. We are now at the extreme rear or aft end of the flight deck of the carrier. The flag you see fluttering at the very end is the naval ensign, or the flag of the Indian Navy. If you look around, you can also see the entire runway leading to the elevated ski jump. This is exactly the view that a MiG-29 fighter pilot sees just before he takes off from the carrier at full thrust. If you shift focus to the side, you can see an AK-630 gun turret. There are 4 such AK-630 turrets fitted at different locations on the ship. This gun is among several other weapon systems that protect the carrier from any airborne threats like enemy fighters and anti-ship missiles. As you probably already know, this ship flies the excellent MiG-29K fighter aircraft. These fighter jets fly at 1.5 times the speed of sound. At the rear of the flight deck, you can see where the arrestor wires are installed. These are crucial to the landings of fighter aircraft on the carrier deck. The MiG-29 fighters land on the carrier at full throttle and come to a standstill virtually within tens of meters after they snag their tail hooks in the arrestor wires fitted on the deck of the carrier. The structure now in front of you is called the superstructure of the carrier. The bridge of the ship is housed inside the superstructure, and on the outer wall of the superstructure, you can see the ship's crest, along with crests of her integral fighter and helicopter squadrons. Alongside the superstructure is the short takeoff runway. A MiG-29K pilot takes the aircraft from a stationary position to airborne in this short distance of just 125 meters. The starboard or right side of the superstructure is used for ship-to-ship replenishment at sea and for fueling. The ship's aft or rear crane on this deck is used for ship ammunitioning and rationing. The ship's lifeboats are also stored on this part of the deck. We are now standing at the end of the angled landing runway, which is diagonal to the main axis of the ship. Modern carriers use diagonal angled runways to allow fighters to take off again immediately in case they fail to snag their tailhook in the arrestor wire during a landing attempt. Smoke seen right at the top of the superstructure is steam issuing from the ship's boilers. This ship is powered by 8 boilers with a maximum power output of 180,000 horsepower. The ski jump, or the elevated front part of the flight deck, provides extra lift to the fighters, enabling them to take off from the short runway of the carrier without the use of catapult. To protect the ship from any intruders in harbour, sentries armed with machine guns keep a constant vigil to ensure no unwanted guest is able to board the carrier. We are now on the superstructure and right in front of the ship's bridge. The view you see in front of you is what the captain of Vikramaditya and his navigating crew see while piloting this mammoth ship. Quite breathtaking, isn't it? Feel free to look around. What you now see is the crew of INS Vikramaditya assembled on her deck to take the Unity Pledge on the occasion of the birth anniversary of the grand statesman Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. The crew, already having pledged their life to the service of the nation, also pledged themselves towards unity and national integration. We are now in the internal hangar of INS Vikramaditya. You can see the Sea King helicopter safely stowed away, and the ship's crew are utilizing the extra space for keeping themselves physically fit through sports and exercise. While at sea, this hangar is chock-a-block full with aircraft. Considering the long time the ship sails at sea, the ship also has a fully equipped gym where the crew exercise under the guidance of naval physical training instructors. Providing food for the large crew of Vikramaditya is indeed a daunting task. And this responsibility rests in the safe and dedicated hands of our naval cooks. The ship also has an operational bakery which churns out about 5,000 slices of bread for daily consumption. The ship can carry provisions and stocks that last over 2 months and caters for approximately 1,800 personnel. Would you believe it that the consumption of ration brings down the weight of the ship by between 2.5 and 3 tons every day? Almost 15,000 liters of milk, 25,000 kilograms of fresh ration, and 20,000 kilograms of dry rations are consumed monthly. INS Vikramaditya also boasts of a ship's museum where the rich heritage and legacy of the ship is carefully preserved. The museum is proudly cared for by the ship and serves as a historic record as well as a center of motivation to be a part of this great ship. This has been but a glimpse of the 23 decks and 2,500 compartments of this mighty flagship of the Indian Navy. The Indian Navy's prowess as a blue water navy of the region is centered around her aircraft carrier operations. The Vikramaditya is indeed the bulwark and the pride of the Indian Navy. It has been a pleasure to have you on board with us today. Please feel free to look around before you leave. As we bid you farewell, we hope our effort to bring to you the thrill of being on board an aircraft carrier on your smart devices has achieved its purpose. Do tell your friends about the Indian Navy, and hopefully one day you will actually step on board a naval ship. Jai Hind, Shanna Varuna.